Hey everyone. So today we'll be looking at how you should write your personal statement. So what is a personal statement? So when you are applying to your schools, right, for your MBA programs, then all schools would have this question in some form of the other, where they ask you about your personal statement, where you write about why you are applying to this B school and what are your goals, how your past experience links with your present, and how you go on to achieve your future goals, right? So that's basically your personal statement. So before we start off, I'll just quickly introduce myself. My name is Sujoy, and I have been a mentor for test prep for GMAT, GRE, and other tests, and for consulting. And I have got more than a decade of experience on this. My contact details are mentioned below. You can reach me on the number given, or you can also find me on Facebook and LinkedIn. Also, I have my YouTube channel. You can search me there as well. All right, so let's begin. So first we start off with what is the personal statement. So as we discussed, so it's an essay. So basically you have to write an essay, and the essay discusses what? So the goals and ambitions of the applicants. Please note it has to be like specific quantitative goals. Okay, it's not a dream that you are selling. So it's goals and the ambitions that you have, and how that links to your MBA degree, right? So everything is based on your MBA. So how this MBA is going to help you to reach those goals. And not only this MBA, but this MBA from this particular school that you're applying to. Okay, so the different schools will have different forms of this personal statement being asked, right? And for every school you must have a different variant of this statement. It can't be the same statement that you write for all, right? So for this particular school that you're applying, and it has to be personal. Okay, it cannot be just a objective sort of a statement, or where you write in bullet points, or a theoretical picture. Okay, present a theoretical picture that an MBA would help me in this, and you just note down, jot down bullet points. So that's not the idea. You have to mention it in a personal. It has to be more personalized, right? That's the idea basically. All right. So let's move on. What does it include? So let's first understand what it includes, and then we'll come to each of these points in more detail. Okay, in the later slides. So you must include in different positions. Okay, it does not have to be in this chronological order, or in this order, or sort of. So it includes something like your personal, professional, and academic backgrounds. Okay, your strengths. Okay, your achievements. So you might be very good with numbers, or maybe you have worked in a family business. Okay, and you have helped grow the business from a grassroots level to a pretty high, on a, let's say, scale. Okay, and you have, let's say, increased the number of outlets or something like that. So that's your strength, right? So I mean, you mention your strengths, your achievements. Okay, your hobbies and extracurricular activities also will be a part of this. Okay, and you have to kind of link that to how that affects your persona. Okay, I mean, obviously not to your MBA, but to your persona. So because, as I said, it's a personalized essay that you will be writing. Okay, you mention your short term and long term goals. Okay, short term goals like within 5 years around, which obviously includes that MBA, right? And long term goals are 10 years and all. Okay, around, and that in that time frame, you link your past with your goals. Okay, so if, for example, if you are, let's say, an engineering graduate, and you are doing an MBA and going on to do your business, so how you can link your engineering with a MBA program? Okay, that is something which you need to discuss and emphasize on. Why you are choosing this particular course? Why not XYZ other courses? How this course is going to help you achieve the goal? So what is so special about this course, right? And how you can also contribute to the university. So it's not only about you, so what you gain and how you will help, I mean, gain something, you will achieve your goals and so on, but it's also about how you can contribute, or what you can give to the university. So now let's look at all these points one by one. So the features. Okay, so we'll be looking at various features now. So the first and foremost is the flow. So there must be a flow. As I said, it should not be a collection of points in some random order. There should be a proper flow, and it should be an interesting read. Okay, so it should not be something like very mundane and like, I mean, very uh, what do I call it, like a traditional way in which you just keep writing in a, I mean, in a flat tone sort of. Okay, so that should not be the case, because I mean, there are This is one of the ways in which you can differentiate yourself from other applicants who are having a very similar profile to yours, right? So this is one chance that you have, or one good shot that you have. So you should make it as interesting as you can. So you should also always try to mention a story. Okay, so that's what is very important. Okay, it should be a story, it should not be a standalone set of points, as I keep saying. So how you should flow, I mean arrange the flow. So here you can first start with your past. Okay, so what you have done, your academics and achievements is there. Obviously your work experience plays a very important part in this, right? And once you discuss your past, then go on to what you plan to do in future. Okay, so in future this is what I plan to do. Okay, so I have been working in let's say finance, and I want to go into become a investment banker sort of. So that's how you link, right, your past and your future. That's what you aim to go to. And now you link both with the present, that your need for an MBA, right? So you start with your past, go on to your future, and then come back to the present and say that, okay, so this is why I need an MBA, and these things are, I mean, that sort of completes the flow, right? So the language should be very simple, and it should be an active voice. uh, Note that very fancy language is not helpful. It's not punished per se, but there's no need for using complicated or very fancy language. Remember that content is king, sort of, right? So if you have good content in your essay, you can use very simple language to express that idea, and that looks a very good essay, right? Fancy language cannot be a substitute for lack of content. Okay, so don't waste your time in using fancy language and arranging the words and using special words and stuff. Simple language, simple words are enough, but you just work on how you should decide the flow and how everything links. Okay, the ideas that you mentioned should be very easy to comprehend. Okay, so it should not be very complicated, or it should not be presented in a roundabout manner. Also there should be a proper link between ideas. So you can't say that, okay, I was doing marketing in my last job, and now after MBA I want to do banking after a few years and then maybe move back to marketing. That looks very haphazard. Okay, so there should be easy to comprehend, and there should be a proper logic to that. Okay, moving on, the next feature that you have is clarity of thought. Okay, so you should be very very clear about why you want to enroll in this MBA program. Okay, and also why this school that you have chosen. Okay, so that is something very important. You should do a proper research on your career goals. Okay, so uh, let's say for example, you are let's say looking for an MBA in finance, for example, and you know that, okay, you are going to work in this domain. Okay, this is, let's say investment banking domain, say. Okay, and you know that this school XYZ, for example, has a very good set of mentors or faculty members, professors who are very well known in their field, and they are teaching in this school. Okay, and they are in the, I mean they have a background of investment banking, or let's say the school has networks with investment banking firms. Okay, so something like that. So that way, if you think, then you should be able to link that in your, I mean mention that in your essay, and that should get reflected. Okay, so you have done a proper research of your career goals. You know this is the program offerings. You see there is a proper link between the two, there is a proper marry between the two, and therefore you are following this up, you and doing an MBA from, you want to do an MBA rather from this particular school. You should not be very vague. Okay, so you should have basic, as I said, proper quantitative points to mention. You should not just say that, okay, I just want to be a marketing guy. I mean, you should say that, okay, in which domain marketing, is it FMCG goods you want to be in marketing, or you want to do marketing in different XYZ domain altogether? Because obviously the marketing methods that's followed in an FMCG versus some other domain maybe would be completely different, right? So you have to be precise about those things. You can't just vaguely say, for example, I just want to be a consultant. So there's a lot of various roles a consultant plays, so you must be specific about what sort of roles. If not immediately, you might not if you are not very sure immediately which role, then at least you can say 3 4 or 2 3 roles, that okay, these are sort of roles which I have seen people working, or I have myself worked and these interest me a lot, I want to move deeper in this. Okay, so that way, so you should be more specific. Okay, and you should explain how this course is going to fulfill your objectives, as I said already, right? So clarity of thought is the most important, and that's what the admission team would check. Okay, so if your clarity of thought is missing, irrespective of whatever scores you have got, whatever background you have got, whatever courses you have maybe done, okay, whatever be your academics and whatever be your work ex, if your clarity of thought is missing, and there is a chain is not very completely I mean a complete chain is not found, okay, then you would not be selected for the MBA program. Okay, so that is why clarity of thought is very important, and you should properly think it out. All right, good. Okay, so let's move on now. So next is having realistic goals. Okay, so realistic goals, what do I mean? So you just can't say, for example, in as a short term goal, like in 5 years you want to be the CEO of some company, like say Tesla, for example, right? I mean, it's just simply absurd. So I mean, even if that's, I mean, you don't say something as absurd as that, but still, your your statements, your goals should be very realistic. Okay, so you should know that, okay, in an industry like this, in this domain where you are going to work after your MBA, this is the sort of growth pattern that's usually achievable. Okay, and this is how you would like to grow as well. So that sort of research has to be done. So make a research properly of 5 year, what happens after 5 years, of which the first year kind of goes away in your MBA, right? So another 4 years, and maybe after 10 years what happens, okay, from now. Okay, so you should be also able to link your work experience, okay, along with your short term goals, and then link your short term goals to your long term goals. So that's the complete chain, right? And in between you have your MBA, right? So that kind of holds the chain together. Okay, do not mention goals that you feel might impress the admissions committee. Okay, mention goals only which you sincerely believe in. Okay, so you want to do something, you want to do in this domain only, and you know this is my goal, this is what I aim to achieve, then just mention that. Be true to yourself. Okay, don't try to uh, make up goals that you think would help your candidature. It won't, because the admissions team would have enough experience to understand that you have just made it up, and you actually have no interest, or you do not exactly know how this thing actually pans out, right? So that's very important. Okay, if you have let's say in your profile, if you see that your test scores are a bit low, okay, for example, let's say your GMAT score is a bit low, quantitative side, okay, or the GRE score is a little low, or in your acads, maybe let's say in economics or in finance and all, you have got low scores, then obviously you can take up a lot of additional scores. Okay, like like courses on finance, courses on marketing from these top institutes, like global institutes, and you can put those and show that, okay, see, this is, I have done these courses, and so this kind of helps I mean to support your candidature as well, right? So links your goals towards that, you the effort that you have put in. Okay, so this will also help. So in case you think that you might need some additional courses to do, definitely should go ahead and do those as well. Okay, so next, as I already said, you should be well researched. Your statement or your essay should be very well researched. So you should know why you have chosen this school and why this program, what are the special features of this program. Okay, maybe this school has a special a club of like a finance club maybe, which is like, which has done wonders, like, I mean, it's done a lot of, I mean, has won lots of accolades, and on a national, global level. So and you as a finance guy want to be a part of that club and contribute. Okay, so that could be, so something about the school that you have used in your essay, and that kind of impresses the admissions team that you are actually genuinely interested, right? You might actually end up also talking to different alumni members of your school. LinkedIn is a very powerful I mean tool to use. Okay, so where you can speak to such alumni, you can actually in fact visit the school if you can, I mean, if not physically, obviously, then at least over internet, right? I mean, Zoom calls or something. Set up meetings with those alumni, or if possible, attend some free lectures that the school might have, and mention all of that in your essay. That kind of, I mean, gives a clear picture that yes, this guy is really interested in the school, and that's why he has taken the trouble to do all of these things. That's really his real interest lies here. So that kind of gives you a good push towards your application, right? Okay, next, be authentic. Okay, so that's, I already mentioned that once, that do not mention goals which you don't believe in. Okay, so be yourself. Okay, do not try to imitate anyone, and do not try to do certain courses. Let's say you are not a finance guy, you are from engineering. Let's say again, I keep saying engineering because I am an engineer. So let's say you are a finance not a finance guy, you're an engineer, and you think that okay, this school loves applications from engineer from finance guys. Okay, like people who are interested in finance and all. And as a result, what you do is you try to somehow, I mean, complete some finance course from some institute, and mention that in your profile, thinking that this will make the profile look better. But in the interview, or when the interaction happens with the main team, or the mentors, or the professor, they will be, or the admissions team maybe, they will be, it will be very easy for them to see through that you actually are not really interested in finance. Okay, you just done one simple course. Okay, so the depth of knowledge that is expected from someone who loves finance, okay, will not come from doing just one simple course, maybe, which is a 3 month course. Okay, compare this to someone who has been working or studying finance for, let's say, one full year or one full semester, right? So obviously you will not be able to match up to that person, or maybe compared to that person who has worked in that finance domain, right? And you have no experience of, let's say, working in finance domain. So do not try to imitate anyone's profiles, okay, just because you think that the school would prefer. So there is no such preference a school has. Okay, the school loves to have diverse applications. So a school which people think is a finance school, or school of finance sort of, which prefers finance graduates, would actually will not actually be one. Okay, it will like to have people who are from non-finance backgrounds also, just to have the diversity in the school working. Okay, also don't, as I said, like, don't make assumptions about a particular school, and accordingly try to project your profile in that manner. Okay, so that would not help your candidature. In fact, it will actually harm it. So be true to yourself, be authentic. Okay, that's very important. And the next point is, do you fit? Okay, so do you fit means, so you want to do a particular course. Okay, you are from this background, you want to do a particular course to make it big in life after 10 years. Okay, that's very good. But why do you think that you can actually complete that course, right? So are you suited for the course? What proof do you have? Okay, so if you have done, let's say, some basic courses, okay, on management, okay, small courses like that, okay, from the top institutes which have their online courses, right? So you can always, like, go to the internet and find out which are, like, Harvard has it. Okay, so there are a lot of other courses as well which you can do, and you have completed the course, and you have got very good, let's say, results in that, and that you can portray and say that, okay, see, I have got this, I have managed to do this in such a short time, hence I feel that yes, I am ready for the course, I will be a good fit for the course. Okay, so there should be something which you can show. It doesn't have to necessarily be a course. If your work experience would be there, you have worked in a particular domain, let's say, entrepreneurship. Okay, you have built your own company, and you are applying for a MBA program in entrepreneurship, so obviously it makes a perfect fit, right? So completely says that yes, you would be suited for the course. So also mention why you think you would excel in it. Okay, so these things, like, you should analyze the course structure, okay, the course curriculum, what is being taught in the program, and accordingly mention that yes, these are the things which I know that I will be good at. Okay, and I will be able to excel. All right, so that's something which you must mention in your essay on the personal statement. Not only that, you should also mention how you can contribute to the program and to the school community. So it's not only about you, that you want to take something from the school always. Okay, you take knowledge from the school, you take contacts from the school, you use the brand of the school, okay, and so on. So what do you give to the community? So that is something which you should mention. Okay, so you are, let's say, a great photographer, for example, and you have a photography club in the schools, let's say, and you want to contribute in that area. Okay, or maybe something else altogether. Okay, so just this was an example. Okay, so you think of those things and also mention those in the essay. So these things, these small things that you mention, makes a very positive impression about your application. And this is one of the main reasons why the same application doesn't fit in every school, right? Because all of these points keep changing, right? So mention these would be very really very helpful in your application. So now, in conclusion, what you should be doing before submission, obviously, the statement of purpose or the personal statement, whatever you call it. Okay, so you should check and recheck your statement or your essay before you actually submit it. If required, you have it analyzed by someone. Take professional help if you want. Okay, there are lots of institutes which help in specialize in giving such professional help. So you can always take it up with them and analyze. All right, and it's also obvious, as I said, you cannot use the same essay for all schools. So keeping the essence same, make sure you change it according to the needs of the school that you apply to. All right, so these are the basic few points about your personal statement. I hope you have got a brief idea, a fair bit of idea about what to write and what not to mention, and how to go about your writing your personal statement. If you have any queries, you can always search me up on Facebook or LinkedIn and contact me there. This is my number as well. You can reach me on that number. I'm there on WhatsApp, as well as you can always have a call directly. Okay. Thanks for watching.